Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the daily quiz discussion for the 5th of July 2022. Beginning with the first question of the day, which reads, consider the following pairs of newly launched digital initiatives and their description. There are three such pairs given here. The first one is Digital India Bhashini. It is an artificial intelligence based language technology solution for Indian languages. The second one is Digital India Genesis, National Deep Tech Startup Platform to support startups in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities of India. And the third pair is Meri Pehchan, National Single Sign-On for One Citizen Login. Which of the above digital initiatives and their descriptions are correct? Please have a look at the options. What is the context? This article from the PIB notes the Indian Prime Minister inaugurating the Digital India Week 2022 in Gandhinagar. Speaking at the event, the Prime Minister noted the significant changes brought about by the Digital India mission of the Union government. Also, the Prime Minister launched multiple digital initiatives aimed at enhancing accessibility of technology, streamlining service delivery to ensure ease of living, and giving a boost to startups. Among the most notable initiatives launched were the Digital India Bhashini, Digital India Genesis, and Meri Pehchan, among others. Coming back to the question. Note, all the three pairs are correctly matched. Now let us understand each one in brief. The Digital India Bhashini involves using artificial intelligence technology to help in the creation of content in Indian languages. This will enable easy access to internet and digital services in Indian languages. This will help ensure digital inclusion in the Indian context. The next one, Digital India Genesis. As stated, this is a deep tech startup platform to support startups in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities of India. This platform will help discover and support the growth of successful startups. While Meri Pehchan is a user authentication service in which a single set of credential provides access to multiple online applications or services for the users. Since the question asks for the correctly matched pairs, the answer to this question would be option D, 1, 2, and 3. Moving on to the second question, which reads, which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to reserves and production of lithium and cobalt? There are three statements given here. The first one reads, the lithium triangle in Africa is believed to hold the world's biggest lithium reserves. The second statement reads, currently, China is the world's leading lithium producing country. And the last statement reads, India is the world's largest producer of cobalt. Please have a look at the options. What is the context? This article from today's The Hindu notes Australia agreeing to supply critical minerals to India. This includes supply of lithium and cobalt. These two minerals are critical not only for the manufacture of electric vehicles but also for solar power modules and other strategic areas like defense equipment manufacturing. Note, this is part of the 3-year India-Australia Critical Minerals Investment Partnership. Coming back to the question, consider the first statement. The first statement is wrong. Why? Because the lithium triangle is not located in Africa but in South America. Note, the lithium triangle is a region of the Andes mountain range which is rich in lithium reserves. It borders the countries of Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile. The second statement is wrong. Why? Because it is not China but it is Australia which is the world's leading lithium producing country. Consider the third statement. This is also wrong. Why? Because it is Democratic Republic of Congo which is the world's largest producer of cobalt. Note, the Democratic Republic of Congo accounts for two-thirds of global cobalt production. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option D, none of the above statements. Moving on to the third question. It reads, which of the following best describes the word Kurunji, Mulai, Marutam, Nital, and Palai mentioned in the Tamil Sangam literature? The options are as follows. Option A, the different ecological regions. Option B, the 5 aspects of warfare. Option C, the popular flowers of the region. And option D, the 5 famous kings of the region. What is the context? This article from the Hindu notes soil samples from Tamil Nadu being sent for a project at the new parliament site being built in New Delhi. Notably, these soil samples have been taken from 5 ecological regions mentioned in ancient Tamil Sangam literature. The 5 ecological regions mentioned are the Kurunji, Mulai, Marutam, Nital, and Palai. Kurunji represents mountains and slopes, while Mulai represents forests and grasslands. Marudam represents plains, valleys, and agricultural lands, while Nital represents coastal or seashore. And finally, Palai represents parched wasteland or desert. Coming back to the question. From our discussion, it becomes clear that the answer to this question would be A, that is, the different ecological regions. Moving on to the fourth question, which reads, which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to windfall tax? The two question statements are as follows. A windfall tax is a tax levied by governments against certain industries or companies when economic conditions allow those industries or companies to experience above average profits. Recently, the Union Government of India has imposed a windfall tax on domestic oil producers and refiners. Please have a look at the options. What is the context? The Union government had recently imposed windfall tax on domestically produced crude oil and fuel exports. Now, what do we mean by windfall tax? It is the higher tax on sudden big profits. It is levied on industries experiencing above average profits. Notably, three of India's upstream oil companies, that is ONGC, Oil India, and GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited, experienced record profits. This was owing to the sharp rise in international crude oil and gas prices. Price of crude oil had reached a 14-year high of 139 US dollars per barrel. In such a scenario, the Union government had imposed a windfall tax of 23,230 rupees per ton on the domestically produced crude oil. Though this new levy will give the government up to 1.3 lakh crore revenue, there are concerns that the windfall tax introduced will adversely affect oil companies such as ONGC as well as Reliance Industries Limited. In this context, the government has recently clarified that it will review the windfall tax on domestically produced crude oil and fuel exports every 2 weeks. This review will be based on foreign currency rates and international oil prices. Coming back to the question. From our discussion, it is clear that both these statements are correct. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option C, both 1 and 2. Moving on to the last question of the day. This is a question from the UPSC 2019 Prelims GS Paper 1. The question reads, in which of the following relief sculpture inscriptions is Ranyo Ashoka or King Ashoka mentioned along with the stone portrait of Ashoka? The four options are as follows. Kanganahalli, Sanchi, Shahbazgari, and Sogura. The correct answer to this question is option A, Kanganahalli. Note, Kanganahalli is located in the state of Karnataka. It is home to the first ever sculpture of Ashoka with his name inscribed on it. Also note, Sanchi is famous for the Sanchi Stupa and is located in the state of Madhya Pradesh, while Shahbazgiri is located in present-day Pakistan and it is famous for the rock edict of King Ashoka. Saugura is known for its copper plate inscription written in Prakrit in the Brahmi script. It is located in the present state of Uttar Pradesh. Moving on to the fact of the day, states startup ranking. What is the context? This article from the Indian Express as well as the PIB note the release of the third edition of ranking of states on support to startup ecosystem. In this context, let us understand a few basic aspects related to this ranking. Note, this is the third edition. The first edition of this ranking came up in the year 2018. Also, this is brought out by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade or DPIIT. The DPIIT assesses the participating states on 7 broad reform areas. This includes institutional support, fostering innovation and entrepreneurship, access to market, incubation support, funding support, mentorship support, and capacity building of enablers. Based on the analysis on these 7 parameters, the states are classified into 5 categories. That is, the best performers, top performers, leaders, aspiring leaders, and emerging states. In the third edition, a total of 31 states and union territories took part in the ranking process. This included 24 states and 7 union territories. Notably, states such as West Bengal, Sikkim, Haryana, and Jharkhand, and the Union Territory of Lakshadweep did not participate in the exercise. Among these states, Gujarat and Karnataka were ranked as the best performers among the bigger states, while Meghalaya was adjudged as the best performer among small states with less than 1 crore population. That is all for today's discussion. Thank you for being with us.